You are listening to the Horse Radio Network, part of the Equine Network family.
Are you giddy for the holidays? They'll be here before you know it. This week, we're sharing our top gift picks for the equestrian in your life, and we're talking about our favorite end-of-the-year horse shows, from the Royal Winter Fair to the Maclay Finals. Thanks for tuning in. From Heels Down Mag, a podcast where horse pros chat about what's happening in the horse world over drinks. Welcome to Happy Hour. I'm Justine Griffin.
I'm Jessica Payne.
And I'm Ellie Woznicka. Welcome to episode 130 of Heels Down Happy Hour.
What's up, everybody?
Hello. Hey, guys.
Did you guys have We're in November. It's almost the end of the year.
I know.
It's so strange.
How did it happen? Did you guys do anything fun for Halloween with the kids?
Yes, we took the kids to a client of ours, friend. She has 2 young kids as well. So they had their neighborhood like next door to it has this huge like trick-or-treating thing. And they like shut off the streets and everything else. And it's in downtown Durham. So we went there. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, what did the kids dress up as?
Abigail went as a unicorn to school. And then, yes, we kept changing all of her outfits because she was like going to be a princess. She had multiple ones to actually pick from. And then Hudson went as Mario. And it's really funny because the outfit like had the fake booty and belly and stuff like that. So it was like really funny. He's like walking around with his mustache and this like fake little like bottom and belly. It was really funny.
That's fantastic. I like seeing your dog dressed up, Justine.
Oh, yeah. I mean, all I did was paint her face green. Like, I know. And everyone's, what is she? And I'm like, I don't know. I just put face paint on her.
That's amazing.
But it was cute. So
it was cute.
Doug and I dressed up as Top Gun for the kids.
Oh, amazing.
Oh, great.
I love it. I know. We didn't really my poor husband with his broken hurricane foot. Normally we're big Halloween people, but we just handed out candy. But I pulled out the Halloween face paint. So he had a zombie-ish look. I had the clown look, and we just sort of hung out. But what did you do anything, Ellie?
No, I mean, I live in the middle of nowhere. So, and, you know, I don't think any trick-or-treaters want to climb the mountain to get to the house. So I never have any trick-or-treaters or anything, but it was fun. Like I did work. So like I saw some people in costumes, but I didn't know I was allowed to wear a costume. So I didn't, but I was like, oh, darn. Because I actually have a Mario costume as well.
That's amazing.
Oh, yeah. I remember.
I forgot.
Yeah, Matt and I went as Mario and Luigi to go bowling last year. So, nice. But no, we didn't do anything fun.
I know it came and went so fast, I feel like this year, Halloween.
Yeah. I'm just excited because candy is now discounted.
Oh my goodness.
I know. I'm still eating candy corn. I'm like one of those weird people that like seasonal candies. I love the Valentine's Day hearts and I love candy corn.
I'm judging you a little bit.
I know. I'm like, I can't help it. It's what I like, Ellie.
You do amazing. You do you. I'm just going to judge a little bit.
This episode is brought to you by Eco Gold. All right. And I do have a cocktail this month that I think will be Jessica approved and probably Doug approved too. It's a bourbon drink. Imagine that.
Shocking.
But it feels perfect for November. It's an apple cider bourbon punch.
Ooh.
I got this recipe from the cooking section of the New York Times, and it just like every recipe I get from there is like fire. It's one that I keep forever and use multiple times. So this is another one to log into that category. So basically you're going to make a punch and then you can also make a syrup that goes with it. So to make the syrup, you're going to combine some brown sugar and cinnamon sticks with 1 cup of water and put it in a medium saucepan over your stovetop. Bring that to a boil, reduce the heat to low, let it simmer until that sugar is really completely dissolved. And then you'll let it cool and throw out like the remnants of the cinnamon sticks. And then you're going to combine that syrup with your actual punch. So the punch is where the bourbon is, cider, a little bit of lemon juice, some orange juice. Pour that all into a pitcher and then let it chill in the fridge for about an hour. Then you'll strain the chilled punch and pour it into a punch bowl. And you'll add 4 cups of ice and club soda. And if you want to get fancy, you can garnish it with some orange wheels. You can grate some nutmeg on top, but it's like a nice over ice drink.
It sounds so good.
It sounds dangerously good.
Yeah.
No, it's a good fall drink, right?
That is a really good fall drink.
If you're doing a Friendsgiving or something, this would be a great thing to bring.
Or a real Thanksgiving, you can bring that too.
Yeah.
That's true. Or just alone and want a lot.
I mean, there's so many different options.
All right, guys, time for news. What do you got?
Oh, I've got a good one.
All right, go for it.
So I bit the bullet and I actually bought the subscription for the Royal to watch everything for the next couple weeks.
Oh,
and
cool.
So, I was a little disappointed in the video quality though. Like it kept buffering out. And so I'm like giving it a shot for the 5 stars coming up this week. So I'm hoping that it's going to be fixed, but it was still fun to watch. I watched the indoor eventing. I saw the second night, to be honest, but it was super fun. I was really, really happy for Kendall Lahari won on that gray horse, Audacious. That's super cute. Mm-hmm. And then Boyd came up there. He's been all over the place. He went from Maryland to Poe, then to the Royal, and he made it worth his while. He went up there and he was second. And then Jessie Phoenix, who we all love, she was third on her horse Watson, who's super good. And then they also had the Hunter Derby where Kelly Miller, she won. So that's fun. And it's going to be exciting week coming up because they've got the 5-star there.
Jess, have you ever been? The Royal is like on my horse show bucket list to go.
So fun.
I agree.
So I really think we should start to do like a bucket list of some of our favorite horse shows because the Royal is amazing. It's so fun. We went there obviously way before the kids and stuff, but Doug and I were both competing there and we did the indoor eventing and there's this really cool hotel they had put us up in to go to the Royal, like for the indoor eventing. And then, this is 15 years ago. So, but then you walk around during the day. So then it's a night class, but you have all day, and there's certain times you can ride the horse in there and everything, but you're in the middle of Toronto, so much to do. It's like right in downtown. There's also like the whole agricultural part of the fair and the shopping. And then you're watching like the other big classes. It's on my list to go back to because it is so much fun.
It looks just like a beautiful, like go as a spectator, like total bucket list horse show.
Yes. Yes.
100%.
It's got so much fun.
Have you been, Ellie?
I did. Yeah, I went in, 2012. So scary that was that long ago. Yeah.
We were probably there the same time, to be honest. I probably was there about that year. That's so funny. I bet we were there the same year.
Yeah. It was like, it's so much fun. And personally, I don't think you'll be surprised. I am a big poutine fan. So
it's so good.
I love poutine. And they had so many different poutine vendors.
No, they have different varieties and different ones.
Yeah, I had pulled pork poutine. It was fantastic. But no, it's just so fun and to sit up in the stands. And there's great like driving classes. Like you can just like see everything there. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
And honestly, the indoor eventing, like obviously, it's not like the true experience, but it feels like such a fun class to watch.
It's so fun. Well, and you get to go watch, like I said, there's the Hunter Derbies. They do the indoor eventing for the 2 nights, but then they also have the next night, I think it was like Saturday night this time, they had a Canadian only show jumping championships. Mm-hmm. And it was super fun. Like you get to watch this and it looked like really quite big, but it's like in the middle of that small indoor and it's super fun.
Awesome. Well, it's on my list one day. I'll make it there.
Justine, what do you have?
We'll go together.
Yes, we'll all go.
Speaking of just general indoor season and the excitement about indoor horse shows, this time of year is also the time of the year for the ASPCA Maclay Finals. That was a horse show I grew up watching, right? It was, to qualify and make it there was a big deal as a junior, and watching some of my friends get to go over the years. So it's always a show I look forward to watching. And honestly, the Chronicle of the Horse does a great job covering it. They do the fun live blog style where you really get to know the riders. And, there are so many horses and riders that compete in this. The winner this year, Taylor Colley, she entered the ring as the 90th in the original order. But so to like really stand out to the judges, I feel like in a class like that is huge. And she just had like a real whirlwind experience where, she came out in the top spot after the first round and then dropped to second after the flat. But then when they went back to over fences work, she clearly was the most consistent of the entire final experience. And so the judges rewarded her with that. But I mean, she rode hard in the final test. Like it included a hand gallop to a fence and a halt. I mean, they really tested these young riders. And I feel to be so skilled and quiet and have beautiful equitation on top of all of that. I mean, that's the real deal, So it's very exciting to watch. So congratulations to Taylor, who very clearly earned it. And the Chronicle does that great style of post, the watch why they won. So you could watch her whole final round. We'll share that in the show notes so you guys can watch. But it was a pretty exciting year. What about you, Ellie? What do you got for news?
Well, so I had found this like Q&A on the horse about closing up like barn doors and stuff for the winter, which is something that I always like debate because I've struggled with Berkeley, and I know I've talked about this in the past, but I've struggled with his respiratory health in the past, which is why I steam my hay and all that stuff. And it's something like, you want to keep them warm, but then is it bad for the ventilation and bad for their respiratory health? So the question talked about, helping to keep buckets from freezing and things like that, like helping the horses stay warm. Should they actually close windows? And it was answered by a veterinarian too, and talking about how, we want to lock horses up, in the barn and keep them warm and keep out the cold air, but that extreme temperature change can be pretty hard on them. So having good ventilation just from like managing the temperature is really important for them. They talked about how their body in general and their respiratory system is made to be living in dry, open climates with fresh, clean air. So it's difficult for them inside when it's closed up because the dampness, mold, and dust can be a big problem for them. And it can come from, hay storage, bedding, and like your arena footing and things like that. So having them have open air as much as possible is definitely important for their respiratory health. So it was just something that I found interesting because I always struggle with that when it gets really cold here. And I'm like, oh, the wind is so bad, So basically, and I'm glad that I'm doing something kind of vet approved here, but basically the idea is to only shut them when it's like convenient for you and don't do it as a keep the horse warm thing. If you're, for example, right, if you're going to have your big doors open and it's going to literally blow everything down your aisle and kick up more dust, then yeah, that's going to be a problem. Or like if a lot of snow is going to pile in and you're not going to be able to get in there, that kind of stuff is a problem. But to keep the air open as much as possible, even if it is a little chilly and you have to break water, so that is going to be more beneficial for the horse's health.
That makes sense. Obviously, I don't live anywhere cold enough where I'd have to think about that. But so our barns are open all the time. But that is interesting because, right, you close the barn doors and it keeps the warmth in. But I'm sure the air quality is a concern.
So our architect told us to do ours is tiered. So the middle of ours always is open because she said for the ventilation and everything in the summer and in the winter, we're almost like two tiers so that there is like a gap and it's not where wind
like
or rain
a walkway.
No, it's on the roof, line. So the roof line is like think of a normal roof line, like kind of cut top of it off and then did another peak basically. And so that there's like an underlap under it. And so that the horses have like full ventilation throughout the whole barn. But she said it's just as important. And we didn't really know. We're like, okay, I guess, but it does help. So that keeps them warm. Like you can still have their blankets on and we can shut up the main door so it's not windy blowing through, but the upper part is at least ventilated.
Right. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. It is so important. And something I thought about a lot in college because, I went to school in Western New York and we had a heated barn. So like it was closed up all the time. And they had these really obnoxiously loud fans like in the roof that actually served that exact purpose. They sucked out the air and moved air in, which is just wild to me to think that, I don't know, engineering, man, it's wild. But it is very important for your horse's respiratory health for sure.
Wow.
Introducing the Leaf Saddle Pad with Memory Foam by EcoGold. A sleek, thin pad that embodies modern simplicity, reducing friction while preserving your saddle's perfect fit. Crafted with ultra-breathable 3D airflow mesh fabric, perforated memory foam, and a stylish non-slip leaf design, it delivers effortless support and style. Non-slip leaf design, inspired by nature, the elegant leaf pattern not only adds style, but also provides a secure grip to keep your saddle firmly in place. Designed to be sleek and thin, the leaf won't interfere with your saddle's fit, ensuring both comfort and precision without adding bulk. Visit ecogold.ca to learn more.
So speaking of EcoGold, this episode is a special one because it's when we unveil our holiday gift guide. Woohoo! It's that time of year to be thinking about your Christmas and holiday
list.
Shopping. I know. Isn't that nuts? I'm like, I am excited, but also not ready at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
But we're working with so many wonderful sponsors this year to put together our gift guide that I am genuinely excited about each and every product that we're talking about tonight. And it seems fitting that we start with EcoGold, obviously a longtime supporter of the podcast. We're big fans of Patricia and everything she's done for Heels Down. And Patricia is amazing in that she is such an innovator. I feel every year she thinks of something new and cool to try and is so much of an entrepreneur that she can never stay still for too long, right?
Exactly.
What they're doing at EcoGold this year is they just debuted a beautiful new pad. So if you've tried the Breeze pad, which we've talked about in the last year, which is a new thin EcoGold pad, and it also comes in a thin matching half pad with a beautiful like edging along it. The
piping.
leaf yes, the piping. The leaf pad is like the Breeze pad, but even more elegant is what I would say now that I've ridden in it. It's a lovely thin pad and it has all of the features that we love from EcoGold in that it is when we say non-slip, it is a non-slip pad. But it has all of these lovely, cool new features. So like Ellie mentioned in the ad, it has this 3D airflow mesh fabric, which is nice and light, but it has that perforated memory foam that comes in this beautiful leaf design on the pad. And it's lovely. With the piping, it's hard to find a style of pad that I think pops more than this. It's really, with different colors, you can customize to make it fit your own look. But it's really pretty, and it's just as heavy duty as any EcoGold pad that you can think of. I've ridden in it several times. I've gotten it nice and lathered and foamy and sweaty, and it's so easy to wash, and it looks brand new when it comes out of the wash.
They really hold up, all of them.
Yeah, they're just nice pads. I mean, there's nothing else like it on the market. So if you were on the fence about EcoGold before, the Leaf is a really interesting first pad to try, I think. And I don't think anybody would be disappointed whether you ride dressage or you're a jumper. It really works under any type of saddle. And if you wanted to go the extra mile, EcoGold released a new color lineup for their flip half pad. I ride in a flip half pad every ride, both with my dressage saddle and my jumper saddle. And they just released this new beautiful sage color. And I feel like it is like the theme of this year, like that color theme that you keep seeing. Like it's just this gorgeous, subtle sage green. Like it's just a light, pale sage green. It just pops beautifully under your saddle. if you like that kind of color. It's really pretty. I haven't seen another sage pad like that before. So just, that's my recommendation. If you wanted to buy a leaf pad, splurge on the flip half pad and get the sage one.
Yeah.
And then have you guys tried, Jess, you've ridden in the EcoGold boots, right? The
Yes.
exercise boots?
Yes. And they're light. They're everything about
ultralight.
EcoGold. They're easy. They're durable. You can wash them. They're our kind of go-to for if you
For
want the
everyday
fleece
riding.
exercise boots, they hold up.
So the fleece is new, actually. So the exercise boots why I love them is because they're ultralight. I don't think there's a lighter boot on the market, to be honest. And we know now from research that you have to be careful with what you put on your horse's legs because they do heat up during exercise. Yep. And I find the EcoGold boots literally to be the lightest pair of boots I've ever owned, in that they keep my horse's legs cool, but they stand up and still provide some level of protection. Well, EcoGold this year has expanded their options for the exercise boots, and they've added a fleece lined option. And that you can still get it in the classic black or white boot, but add the fleece if you've got a horse with sensitive skin, or if you're just looking for, additional anti-rub comfort, this is an option. The fleece is super soft. It's very nice. And the boots, they're the same quality that you're used to from previous versions of the exercise boots. I love them.
Yeah, they're on the top of my list. I gave it to Matt yesterday.
This is it, Matt. All right. So next on our list is also not a newcomer to the show. It's All Things Equestrian. We reviewed their sun shirts earlier in the year, and we had a giveaway, and luckily a listener got to win and try a shirt themselves. But Dina is the owner of this boutique that's based in Florida, and I've gotten to know her over this last year as she's worked with Heels Down, and she's just a lovely person. One, she's an eventer, so I got along with her amazing. One, also she's from Florida. I was just talking to her this week, and she's out hunting in Ireland on vacation. She competed at Rebecca Farm this year. She's just everywhere. She's everywhere I want to be. She's so cool. She's the nicest lady. I feel like I've gotten to know her so well over this last year. And she cares so much about the products that she makes. And you can really tell in the design of these shirts and the quality of these sun shirts. The shirts I have from All Things Equestrian are literally the lightest, softest sun shirts I've ever worn.
Yeah, 100%.
They're just so nice. And they have the mesh undersleeve, but I really like the details that mine have this cute little ruffled shoulder and then a little cuffed wrist. But the designs are exclusive to All Things Equestrian. You're not going to find any design or theme anywhere else. And they have this really beautiful, fun fox hunting print that comes in a couple different colors. That's really fun. So if you're looking for a sun shirt to stand out or to try a different kind of fashion design, I really recommend them. They're beautiful. They make lovely gifts for your horse girlfriends in the barn, like your fellow Ammies, or even your trainer. They're really quite nice. And it's nice to know that this is a woman-owned small business who really cares about horse sport and the industry and horses in general. And just know that you're supporting somebody who is just like us, it goes a long way for me when I'm looking to spend money on gifts.
Absolutely. And you can't forget about their Western line, which
Yes.
I think is so important because they have included those of us that also need sun protection, but, ride in a different saddle. And those shirts are so nice. And I love that the pockets, they have the style of the Western shirt, but then they also give me everything I love about a sun shirt. So yeah, they're definitely also on the list that I gave Matt. I'm I have the cactus print, but I need some black, I want to mix it up.
Nice. I love the cactus print. I thought that one was very fun.
Oh yeah, I love it.
And they come with all the protections that you want in a sun shirt. They're SPF 30 plus, they're moisture wicking, antibacterial. I mean, it's just a nice shirt. I don't really think you can find one that's nicer.
So the next on our list is if you guys want a cute pin or charms, like the pins, meaning that we put our horse show numbers in, because instead of using those huge safety pins or you see everything. Pinsnickety is got the cutest ones, whether you do custom or you do fun different designs. It's so fun. We have some with our like logo on it. Like it's just like a cross with a circle. I don't really know what you kind of call that. Doug has a name for it. I can't ever remember. But it's got the red and the yellow and then it's a black. And they look great. Like all of our clients wear, we've had them about a year at least, but they're so fun. And then they've just got all these different things. Like the girls will come back and be like, look what else we found. We've got charms. We've got different accessories. And so their charms are like the cutest things. You can put them anywhere. Have you guys seen the charms and the pins?
Yeah. So Pinstickety, I love them. They're so fun. Like they have such a large collection of pins and charms you can choose from. So like Ellie got one of my favorites from them. Do you want to tell them?
But what did you get?
Oh my gosh. So I have the dumpster fire. Which
that's what Catherine wanted me to get. I gotta get you this. I was like, I got one, and because I'm bringing it to Aiken this week, and I was like, Doug, you can wear this on one of the horses in the hunters because he's got to do a couple hunter classes. And Kevin's, please tell me you got the dumpster fire one, and he's going to go in the ring in that one.
I love them. So they're like cute enamel, like to kind of paint a picture for you guys listening. They're cute enamel pins. You know, when you buy a set, it's 2. And they have beautiful, unique designs that they choose. I have a pair that's a skull and crossbones, and they're black with purple glitter in them. They're really cute. I love it. If you're feeling edgy going into the jumpers or something. I love the dumpster fire ones.
Yeah,
they make cute little colorful unicorns. You can do like a grand champion ribbon, like a tricolor ribbon. A carrot. They have cute holiday ones. So they have, like right now I noticed they're promoting like their cute peppermint ones for Christmas.
Oh, cute. I didn't see those because I saw the one for their Christmas ad and everything, and it was super cute.
And so you can coordinate them. You can get your horse show number, you know, and they're actual pins. So like you take the back out and you put your horse show number through your saddle pad and then you pin it on. And then you can get a charm that matches, or you can mix and match. So if you want to put a cute charm in your hunter plates or your button braids that speak to your personality, you can do that. And it can match your horse show number pins. Yeah. Or I've even seen people get really creative where they take their Pinsnickety pins and like they use one on their stock tie or they use one on their fly bonnet. You know,
that's
it's
cute.
Yeah.
It's a fun way to show a little bit of style in a sport that can be hard to do that, right? Everything is so traditional, but you can add a little bit of flair no matter what ring you're in with Pinstickety and not worry about getting in trouble for it. Right. And they're really they're heavy duty. Like you can like use them, take them off, put them in your show trunk. Like they're going to last forever.
We keep them. We bought like a little Tupperware. And so then we just throw them in there and then honestly, like they just stay. And so a bunch of our clients have them. And then we have a collection of them just in a Tupperware.
Did you reach out to them, Jess, to get like a custom design?
Catherine, who we all love at Ride Equisafe, she had a connection with them because she sells them as well. So you can always buy them there. But she reached out and said, would you do a custom one? And so she gave them to us. I think maybe it was even for Christmas last year. That's what she gave us.
Yeah, they do custom ones. I've been thinking about getting them just because I think it'd be so fun. And I think like the only thing with the customs is you have to get, you know, a certain number with the order.
Yeah.
But no, because I know they did them like with like the WEC logo.
They've done a ton of custom now.
One.
Yep.
Yeah. The Retired Racehorse Project one.
Yeah. And I think the biggest thing for me is I'm one of those people that like always is paranoid because I have a horse that jumps really correct and blatantly makes it obvious when I am jumped out of the tack, and my leg will slide back, you know, when I ride him really deep and he jumps really round and I'm short and not prepared. And so that was my biggest concern with these is because I'm always paranoid, even with my safety pins, that they're going to come off and, you know, prick him and things like that. So I really like that Pinsnickety has done a lot of research to make these super secure and to not have to worry about that. That's like a huge thing for me. And they've done so much testing and everything that it's, you know, it's nice to not have to worry about that and know that I'm not going to, scratch my horse or, prick him or anything like that. But I can also still have fun and just know that my number is not coming off, even if my leg does come off the saddle.
Right. No, yeah. They've clearly done their due diligence to make sure that the products are quality and are going to perform how they're supposed to. And you could still have fun and they look good. And obviously, the price point for something like Pin Snickety is great. It's so easy to splurge on getting a couple of pins for different looks.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think they're great for your white elephant barn party gift. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anybody would love getting these as a gift. So throwing that idea out there.
Yeah, because you don't have to just use them on your saddle pad either. Like I have one on the lanyard, on my, for my car keys and stuff. Like they're just really nice, secure pins, and you don't have to worry about them falling off. So they're just fun to accessorize with like on your, your helmet bag and things like that too.
Awesome.
So the next one, we have tried a bunch of different supplements to keep our horses as comfortable as possible around the barn, at the horse shows. We travel a lot. And one of the biggest things is some of them, especially the ones that are a little bit more like thoroughbred, just kind of get a little hot, like, and uncomfortable, honestly. Like they just get nervous, and we try to find something. Doug and I, somebody told us along the way, you've got to try. We used to use different products and the tubes were huge and then they'd spit them out. I'm not kidding you. We've had horses that they held the paste in their mouth for like hours. And so then they didn't eat it. So I was like, well, that was great. Oh yeah. 2 of them. Not just one, but 2 of the big horses. We'd shove it down their throat and they would just sit in their mouth. So then all the girls like that worked for us were like, we got to give it a little bit extra because then they don't eat their food. I mean, we were having all kinds of just different discussions about what to do. So then someone said, have you heard about Sinutra's Sin Chill? Mm-hmm. And I said, no. Well, so I went up to the store and I bought a couple of them, and they're these, and you can get them on Amazon. Best news ever. So, me and my Amazon, but they're tiny little tubes and you don't take much because they've done so much research. We talk about all the research. Is the Sin Chill is a proprietary, like they contain 5-HTP and it's a precursor to serotonin. So it's basically, they found a way that they don't have to use so much products. They're very they're all natural, calming horse supplement, basically. And so we tried it on a couple. Doug's, this is great. This is amazing. I love this. And then we went to the next one and saw that they actually do also one called a G-Chill.
Yeah.
And it's a daily one that you can feed, but also it helps their stomach. So it's an easy feed alfalfa pellet that you just feed 1 scoop a day to benefit them. And so between those 2, they have been like a game changer in our horses to be able to really just keep them comfortable and happy and performing at their best.
It's funny, Ellie and I were talking about Sinutra, and I knew the name Sin Chill before I knew Sinutra, because Sin Chill, the word's getting out, that this is a new focusing, calming product for a nervous type horse that has ingredients, to be honest, that I've never seen anywhere else on the market.
No. And then, and they're just, Marie is the nicest lady. I called her because then we had a horse that fractured his cannon bone, and we had to end up, I called because somebody at the horse show was like, you use Sinutra, you use the G-Chill and the Sin Chill, and just the amount of research they've done on all of their products has blown us away. And I know we started that horse on their Ocean product for bone growth, and the vets were amazed. They're like, I can't believe it's healing this fast. It's been since June, and he's already back in work.
Wow. I mean, that's incredible.
Yeah.
So I just started Mikey on the G-Chill. He's
love
thoroughbred. I'm always happy to try something that can help keep his stomach happy, and especially now as he's coming back into work, he is a spirited guy. So having the benefits of the Sin Chill added to the G-Chill product. And so just so you know, the G-Chill product combines 2 Sinutra products. It's the Sin Chill that we've talked about, which is available in a tube that you can give like at the horse shows, like for one dose, but they also make a Sin-Chill daily pelleted feed too, if you wanted to feed it like daily. The G-Chill is, the Sin-Chill is one half of it, and the other half is Gastromend, which is their all natural gastric supplement. And I'm really happy with it. Mikey can be a little bit picky about supplements, but it's in this like alfalfa based pellet.
Yeah.
He eats it out of my hand like a treat.
They love it.
And it's such a small amount that you feed every day. It's kind of amazing. It's just
so it doesn't take over like a lot of them. You see like powders or whatever else. And to be honest, our horses don't get a lot of grain, some of them. So then what? They're going to have more powder than their grain itself.
Right. They're
like
never going to eat that.
They're never going to eat it. And we love because we don't have to worry about, there's never any drugs in it. There's no prohibited substances. They can show, if the FEI horses can get it as well as just our, national horses. So we have the ability to, use it on a variety of them.
Right. For everybody in the barn almost.
Yeah, it is everybody in the barn, to be honest, like in some sort of thing. But then I do have to mention they came out with, it's a sister company to them, but I have to mention it because I'm so weird about any kind of medicine we take or whatever as well. As picky as I am for the horses, they made there's just certain nights you can't sleep. They made a sleep one for humans.
Like a sleep supplement for people is what you're saying.
Yes. And it's Sinutra did it. And same thing, I ordered it off Amazon.
Called, do you know?
Yeah, I'm actually like having to look it up because it's very similar. But I tried it for myself and I don't take it often, but if I'm just having a restless tired, Doug's go ahead and just take one. And it's amazing.
Like an all natural.
It's an all natural, same, very similar of what is on with the Sin-Chill, but it's Livello, Livello.
Okay, interesting.
And it's all natural. Like I said, I just ordered it. Doug ordered it on Amazon for all of us. And it's just the same thing and all natural if I can't fall asleep. And if I wake up for 5 minutes, I go right back to sleep. And I don't feel groggy in the morning. I can't even take an Advil PM is how sensitive I am to like all of that. And this has been, a game changer on like when my mind's just running around.
Yeah, I know. I've been there. I know what that's like. That's good to know.
When you're just thinking of 100 things and you're like, I really need to go to sleep. It's really past my bedtime.
And then just so you know, for Sin-Chill, Sinutra is coming out with essentially a beefed up Sin-Chill called
I just ordered it.
Yeah, it's called Sin-Chill AF. And it made me laugh because I'm like, does the AF stand for what I think it stands for?
I think it does. It must, right?
And so basically it's the Ultra Sin-Chill. If you need something that's a little bit more potent, it comes in the tube form so you can give it as like a dose before a horse show or before getting on the trailer. And they're very easy to administer. The horse, like Mikey,
the horses love it.
Yeah, he's always like suspect when I come at him with the tube, but he's happy to eat the Sin-Chill. So if you want to try something new that is all natural, will never test at a horse show, has a wide range of benefits both for gastric health and for keeping your horse focused in stressful situations, Sinutra Equine is the brand to really check out. I've been very impressed.
Yeah, it just made me think, I'm like, man, I should have totally gotten this for rehabbing.
Yes.
Yeah. That's
immediately what I thought of. I wish I knew this 2 years ago.
I know. Why didn't I? Yeah, exactly. So our next gift on our gift guide is from one of the OG podcast sponsors, and that's Draper Therapies. I am a big Draper Therapies user fan, all of the things for my horses, myself, my dogs, my cats, all of them. And the big thing with Draper's Therapies is that they use Celliant, which is a fiber that is infused with minerals to aid in blood circulation by absorbing and converting body heat. So, I mean, they have the Perfect Polos, which you have used a lot, right, Justine?
Oh, I'm obsessed. I'm a huge fan of the Perfect Polos, which basically they're polo wraps that combine the Saratoga bandage, if you're familiar with that, with the Cellulant fiber So your horse is getting that benefit from the fiber, plus it comes with a very secure, bandage wrap for a polo. I'm obsessed with them. There's no other polo wrap on the market like it, to be honest. Because I feel like polo wraps are kind of like defunct, you know what I mean? In terms of the very basic style of polo wraps that we used to use back in the day. But these are amazing. I literally use them today, hacking my gear around. I love them so much. They come in a bunch of different colors. But I, like you, Ellie, I love Draper for a variety of reasons. I feel like they are the original company that have offered equine products with fibers that enhance blood circulation. Like we've seen them in other industries. Tom Brady obviously has his own like fleet of products.
Right.
And a lot of the apparel use the same salient material like in their recovery products, from shirts and lounge pants. And so Draper makes those for people too. So like poor Alex with his broken foot after the tree fell on it after the hurricane.
No.
I have a human wrap from Draper Therapies, actually. That's kind of like a human polo wrap, essentially, that we've been wrapping his foot in at night. Because obviously he's icing it and taking anti-inflammatories, but when he's laying down flat, he's sleeping in the Draper wrap just to keep blood circulation flowing to that foot while he heals. And I also bought him a pair of Draper Therapy lounge pants for people. I love these lounge pants. They're so, I think being in Florida, like my biggest hang up with buying like lounge pants or sweatpants is they're too hot. Like it's never cold here. So we'll wear them maybe 2 weeks out of the year. These pants are super light. They're very soft. So I bought them for him specifically because he broke his foot.
Thing.
I know, but they're amazing. So the Perfect Polos, Mikey has the Perfect Polos. He also has a Draper Therapies dressage saddle pad, which has the cellulant on the underside that goes over his back. I really recommend that if you have a horse that tends to be cold backed or maybe a little sensitive to tacking up. Like I put it on Mikey and it's kind of like amazing. I will obviously groom him, then put the saddle pad on and then, dilly dally, do other things. And I will see him licking and chewing in the cross ties. Like it's kind of amazing. I really am a big believer in Draper. And
100%.
then they even make therapies for your pets too that aren't horses. Like you can get a pet mat to keep at your house for your cat or dog for them.
Yeah,
to lay
I
on.
literally have 4 of those.
Do you?
Yeah, and my mom has them. And she's noticed with her like older, she has a miniature poodle who's really old now. I think he's 11 or 12 now. And he loves to lay on it because he has issues with his hips. And my cats, literally, they are always laying on their Draper mat, always. I put it in their favorite chair and they adore it. And they will not lay in that chair if I don't put the Draper's mat there, which I think is hysterical and goes to show how much they really enjoy it. And my dogs have them in their kennels. And I think I love them. I have my own little blanket from Draper that I use. And it's just great. And I have their standing wraps too that I used on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I love those, especially with Batman, who's so arthritic, right? Like it was huge for him that I would ship him in those and it would just like keep his legs comfortable, like especially like when he's just like standing and rocking in a trailer. Like it was huge for him to like be able to just come off the trailer feeling more comfortable. And even I remember the vets up at Cornell asking about, I've never seen like these wraps. And I was like, and I got on the Draper Therapy soapbox and I was like, let me explain. And because they noticed that Batman did seem very comfortable when he got off the trailer, which they were surprised about. So
Yeah. I love him too, because Mikey is a type who, like, if he's in the stall for an extended period of time, say we're at a horse show, he's going to stock up. He's just a big dude to be kind of kept up in a stall for a while.
Exactly.
But when he wears his Draper standing wraps in the stall, like his legs are tight when those wraps come off. Like it's amazing. I'm a big believer. And if you don't have to believe our recommendations, Draper put their products to the test and they're backed by clinical studies. You can read all of these studies on their website. And I also think that they have excellent customer service if you ever have questions about their products. That's why they've been a partner with us for so many years, because we believe in them and their product is great.
Yep, 100%.
Okay. next on our list this year is a new company that we got to work with. It's called Belted Out Goods. Luckily, they're local. They're here in Florida, actually in Tampa Bay. And Belted Out has a wonderful story. Madeline is her name, is the vision behind the company. And she is not a horseback rider, but her sister actually loves horses and has been a competitive junior rider and rides on the hunter jumper circuits here locally. And Madeline saw an opportunity to make beautiful and interesting belts for her sister and her sister's friends. And that's how Belted Out Goods was born. And these belts are amazing. You would never know that they were literally handmade by a young girl who just is so talented, but also has such a fashion vision. Like Belted Out Goods comes out with seasonal collections. They have different styles and colors, from animal print to woven styles to interesting and trending colors. And each belt comes with a gorgeous, like literally gorgeous hardware, like these clasps that mimic bits and blanket straps and more that are really trendy and cool, from rose gold to brass to all different colors. Like you could really mix and match the colors of the belts with the clasps to find something that works for your style. The material is very stretchy. It's that classic elastic belt with the fun clasp so it fits like all body styles, which I think is great and can be very flattering to any type of body style. So I just bought a beautiful purple, like a violet purple belt that matches actually my All Things Equestrian sun shirt.
Oh, look at you being fancy.
I know. So I am like the dressage diva. I'm not going to lie. I have this beautiful, vibrant green and purple shirt, and this belt from Belted Out Goods literally matches it perfectly. The shirt has a rose gold zipper, down the front, the quarter front zipper. And the clasp of the belt, like literally matches. It looks like I bought it all together. It's crazy.
Well, there's just so many different options. And I like that there's striped ones and like plain white ones, like you said. And they've got just a hint of some sparkles and stuff.
Yeah.
They're just they're not the same like you see in just the normal stretchy belts. So
right.
You guys have got to go check out their website because they have so many different options.
And honestly, I think like Madeline is so talented. I think she could customize if you wanted to get belts for your whole barn.
Yeah, like
in
do it
the
in
same
barn colors. I found one because they had one. I wear a lot of black, but I wanted something different, and so then they have one with like black, red, and kind of a little bit of like a yellowish. And I was like, oh, that's cute, and could go with my jacket, my show jacket, and everything.
One of you guys got an animal print one, right?
Yes, I have a cheetah print.
Look
which
at
is
you.
For when I'm feeling spicy. That's what Matt says. I know when you wear that, you're going to be spicy. I was like,
oh my gosh.
Supposed to mean?
That is amazing.
I just wore it because it matched my shirt, but okay. Like, I don't know what that means. And then I also have one that's striped with like my colors. So it's like black, red, and like almost got like sparkly white in it too.
Oh, pretty. Like your Double Barrel Creek colors is what you're saying.
Yeah, and it's got the silver hardware with the bit, and I love it. And it's for me, like I had been so hesitant to try stretchy belts because I need a belt that is supportive. And I was so surprised with how these actually do keep your pants in place. I really enjoyed that. And I like the fact that I'm like, oh, now I can play with all these fun colors and still have, support. And I'm a big fan. And Madeline should be so proud of herself because this is just such a great idea.
And some of them come in different widths, so like if you're looking for a nice thick, wider width belt, you can get that. Like they do a really nice job of offering a variety. And the belts, range like from $30 to $40. And you got to remember, these are handmade belts. I just think they're like, for me, I'm not going to buy one. I'm going to buy 4 or 5 at one time, But again, they're a great gift. They're a great gift for your fellow Ammies in the barn, even for your trainer, for your barn party. Again, this would be a lovely, you could pair it with the pin snickety pins. And that is a white elephant gift right there, So it's a great gift option, I think. And you can find a belt to match anything. Like if you're looking specifically, like you're planning your show outfit and you're looking for a belt to match your colors, I can almost guarantee that Belted Out Goods has it.
Yeah. And I'm not even going to lie. I totally put the dumpster fire pin on the cheetah belt.
Real spicy.
I was like, I don't have to put a number on, obviously, because I'm not in a show, but I still want to wear this pin. And so I mixed them. I was like, it's perfect.
All right. And the last but not least on our holiday gift guide for 2024 is Purina. This is a product that we've talked about a few times this year, but I think for me, if I wanted to splurge on myself for a gift at the end of the year, this would be it. It's the Purina MQ Equine Microbiome Kit. So earlier in the year on the podcast, we talked about my friend Katie's young mare, Finley, who is a very young Irish sport horse who has had some pretty serious colic episodes over the last year or so. And we were really concerned about what was going on that was causing so much of her upset. So when Purina came out with this MQ Equine Microbiome Kit, we thought, wow, what a great way to figure out what's going on inside of her body, like inside of her hindgut. Is there something that we can't see, that allergy testing's not picking up, that the vets can't seem to find? So what we did is we took this kit from Purina, they mail it to you, and it comes in a box with very easy to read instructions, and you take a swab that basically you're trying to just get a rectal swab of your horse, and you put that in this sealable kit that Purina gives you, and then you mail it back to Purina, and they analyze this swab in their lab and then send you a report, essentially, after they've analyzed everything that, bacteria that is specific to your horse, and they give you this online report. And it's super comprehensive. I was like blown away about what we could learn just from this very quick swab that we put in the mail and then didn't think about for a couple of days. Purina can tell you all kinds of things about your horse. And what I like about the report is they tell you like what is unique to your horse and their microbiome in terms of the bacteria that makes up their gut. But then they also can compare your horse to other horses in their database, now that they've taken so many different swabs from horses all around the country from similar geography, like if you're in the Southeast, like us in Florida, or horses that are similar in breed, like a warm blood type horse that would be applicable to Finn, and then also horses in her same age group. It's kind of amazing. Like I want to do it now for Mikey, just to get not that I have any issues going on with him, but just to get a baseline of what the
knowledge is of X in there.
Yeah. What does a healthy hindgut look like, and what do I need to be aware of going forward? We've learned, like in humans too, that, your gut microbiome is really your key to
huge,
overall health, like your whole body health. It really starts in your microbiome. And understanding that the good quote unquote bugs, as Dr. Anna from Purina has told us on the podcast, is really important. There's all types of bacteria that live inside our microbiome, and a lot of it is good for us. And understanding why and what it does, I think, is really important. And Purina has created this very easy way to explain that and understand it, and then also get this individualized report to learn more about your specific horse's needs and what you can do as a horse owner to support them going forward. I know, Jess, we talked about Quantum. You guys did the report on Quantum in the spring, right?
Yes.
Learn more about him.
Yeah. And we just find out what, if they're deficient in something, like what all they're kind of needing. And I love how extensive the report is, that you can go in and then talk to Purina's got great. I mean, Anna's amazing, and nutritionally wise, that like we had any questions and we just asked her, and, they just have all that data there that like, then you're making sure, just as a baseline, make sure they're good. There was nothing wrong. We just wanted to kind of do the same. So I think it's definitely something that, if you're just curious, because, like in the microbiomes, like what we're all very interested in it for humans. And so we're just as interested in it for the horses.
Absolutely. I mean, if you want your horse to perform their best, I think this is a really important part of just the education of it. Yeah, alone is Like for me, like out of all the items we have on our holiday gift guide, this is the item I would splurge on for myself, just for the educational part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you want to learn more about gut microbiome, like just like in humans as well, Matt and I actually watched I don't know if you guys have seen it, the Hack Your Health documentary on Netflix.
Oh.
It did a really great job. It's like literally the secrets about your gut. And it did a great job of explaining it in a way that like is easy to understand. That came out this year and Matt and I were like, oh, this makes sense, which honestly made me even more wanting to get this for all of the horses in the barn to just learn more. I think it's just so fascinating.
Absolutely. So we'll link to all of our sponsored products in our 2024 Heels Down Holiday Gift Guide in our show notes on this episode. But you can also find the gift guide itself at heelsdownmag.com. And we'll be sharing photos and videos of the products up close all holiday season long on our social media channels. So I make sure to be following us in our Facebook group, but then also our Facebook page, on TikTok, and on Instagram.
So we have a guest that has been on a bunch of times. Welcome, Doug, my husband. He is currently at a horse show while I am still at home, but he joined us to talk a little bit about starting young horses. Hey, hon.
We got to interject here. Jessica just finished her birthday present today, about 50 hours later, this puzzle that was the epic puzzle of all puzzles.
Well,
so a little congratulations
I guess
in
he
an
just
order.
wanted to be part of Rose and Thorn because that was going to be part of it.
You spoiled it, Doug.
I didn't tell anybody.
Crush it. I'm a dream crusher. What can I say?
Well, so
He's
I
a
have
dream
questions.
crusher because I might not even like puzzles after this.
Well, I have questions, but I'll save them for
Well, you know what? That is my dream.
Spoken like a true husband.
Yeah.
He felt so bad. It was so hard. He actually helped.
Oh man, how many pieces was it? Was it like a big puzzle?
1,000, but
1,000.
I will send you a picture.
Yikes.
It was all green.
What?
So it's a killer shot. It's a killer shot. It's in Wellington. People that know it, Ring 9. Background is a hedge up front, which is out of focus, and the woods behind also out of focus. And then it's Jess and the two kids watching. I'm in the ring.
Like on video.
It's an awesome photo, but there is absolutely no definition. No. Aside from light green low and dark green high, like nothing.
And he did it without a key. He didn't give me the picture. He gave me a box that was white that said happy birthday.
That's horrible.
I mean, guys.
She's always told me she just absolutely loved puzzles. And, you know, all these puzzles are just so easy. I said, I thought this would be challenging, but this was a little beyond expectations.
Okay, so my dad got my mom a vacuum one year for Christmas, and I think this is worse. Okay.
I mean, my friends would call her like, what are you doing? I'm like,
I
what do you
love
think
it.
I'm doing? I'm still doing the puzzle.
Oh boy. All right. Well.
Yeah, so check the socials. Everybody could see the puzzle when it finally finished. But I would honestly, I would say she was on it for 10 hours the first day. I'd put her total around 40. I put a good 10 in it.
1,000 pieces.
It was absurd.
I would have given up just so.
Oh no,
That's off.
I can't.
That's off.
I can't.
This girl is stubborn. Are you kidding me?
It was a pride thing.
It was a pride thing at this point.
Well, but that's so cool that it was like a personalized picture.
Yeah.
Though. That's
And
fun.
on top of it, then I glued it. Don't worry. Like as soon as it was done,
Well, okay. So we got the glue and we got it framed. So it's
And we're
definitely
framing.
going up on the wall for sure.
It's
Okay,
done.
good. So you don't have to take it apart. That's always the worst
no, I'm never
part.
taking it apart.
Oh,
I'm
no
never
one
doing it
ever is
again.
going to put this thing back together.
No.
Oh my
That's
God.
fun though.
Yeah.
All right. So we did invite you here to talk about horses, Doug.
Yeah, the exciting part here.
But you've been sharing a lot of fun updates recently of you starting one of your young horses. One that,
Ellie thinks is tiny.
well, you just make it look
Well,
very tiny when you crawl up
I mean,
there. But
he is 3 coming 4. He's you do
He's
the
a
string
baby.
test. He's going to be like 16.3, 17 hands probably when he's done.
wow. But so he is by the stallion.
And for those
in your barn.
unaware, hold on. For those unaware, the string test clutch measure from the point of their shoulder, like their right at their elbow almost, basically, where the bone sticks out, down to the sesamoid, and then flip that up, and that'll give you your final height when they're finished growing.
You think? Because I feel like I hear
100%. I've not seen a horse yet that it does not work.
All right. So say that one more time.
If you go any full-grown horse, any full-grown horse, it'll be dead on it.
So you're saying elbow to sesamoid.
Yeah,
and then flip it back up.
Like right at the, and then flip it up.
Okay.
From the elbow, flip it up.
All right. Interesting.
Well, I'll tell you this. So his name is Judge. This the baby. So he's out of Star Witness and went to the Pan Ams,
Right.
and he's by Quiberon, who's done through 4-star. He's done international derbies. So this is a killer little baby, and he belongs, like, he would have early access to Mensa. I mean, this is the smartest baby we ever had.
Cool.
But at this stage, so 3 coming 4, he's already the same height as Jess's 6-year-old.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you're just very tall.
He'll be there. He'll be there.
Yeah. Well, so we wanted to ask you questions about starting young horses, because your videos are super informative. Like, they're really fun to watch. Like, just how you're working with them on the ground. And so I have a bunch of questions. And the first is
Sure,
just
shoot 'em.
how do you know when they're mentally ready to come in and start working, start getting ready to go under tack?
Yeah, typically, I'd say the easiest way, put it this way, the easiest ones we've ever had to start are all the ones our pipeline of horses, we try to buy at least a weanling a year. But if they've been here for a long time, then they've been interacted with a ton, had their feet picked, trimmed, bathed, brushed. They're completely domesticated creatures, not trained, right? But totally familiar and everything. And those all actually go pretty quickly. They tend to pick it up really well, and it ends up being a pretty straightforward situation. The ones that are certainly more difficult would be ones that in the past, like we bought off an auction, or where they're born into a commercial breeding operation where they're sort of untouched until they're brought in to get sold. Those ones are a lot harder because you basically have to domesticate them first, and then you can start to actually sort of educate them.
Well,
we typically start them 3 coming 4, right?
Yeah, and ours is babies. Like, they come in, they go crossed eyes, like they do all that, whereas they're handled, they're brought in, their installs. That's where I think it does make a big difference, is what he's talking about.
That makes a huge difference, because it just makes so much less work.
They pick their feet.
It's not your first time interacting with them on a consistent basis. Like, they're very accustomed to all sort of normal horse life things, except for obviously riding. But yeah, we typically do it this time of year. So our competition season's winding down. We're at Split Rock right now in Aiken, but this is really pretty much our last big one for the year. And we've got a little bit of time, because it is time intensive, and I think it's maybe even more valuable. It's not so much how much time you spend with them per day, but having a consistency day over day. And through our normal competition season, that gets a little harder. We're on the road a lot, but this time of year, up until we head to Wellington in January, is our best shot to make some progress. So usually we would start them now. And the young horses, for this sort of 6-week period, would be pretty intensive in that or sort of, I guess, more consistent. But then throughout the year, I'm very apt to let them be the last on the list. So if they happen to get cut short one day, or they get an extra day off, it's not that big of a deal. Because really, in their 4-year-old year, they don't have to do a whole lot. And I think there's a lot of benefit for them just being out being a horse as well.
Yeah, 100%. So I wanted to ask you about your groundwork, because I know that you preach a lot, which I always respect. And it's something that I hammer home when I'm breaking horses. But what is the first thing you do on the ground that you think is so important for starting them?
Yeah, I mean, I think the foundation laid throughout their life up until the point that we're honestly starting them for real is more important and more formative than anything. I mean, just you've got to be able to lead from one place to another, be able to interact with them, brush and spend time with them. And I'm absolutely not above bribery. So, if they get a little bit of nervous, whatever, I'm going to have food available, some sort of treat, little sweetie, whatever it might be, because, in my experience, at least, having that, the moment they start to get a little worried, if you're able to offer some enticing incentive, the whole energy level drops really quick, and they're like, "Oh, this is totally cool. I absolutely love this." So by association, I think that sort of tasty incentive it goes a long way.
Yeah. So, Doug, you shared the video of like when you first rode Judge, the young one, by start witnessing your stallion. How do you know after however much time you've been working with him on the ground that he was ready to be backed?
Yeah, so he's a bit exceptional in that as far as IQ level is through the roof, and having both parents certainly helps because he really takes after his mother as far as his mannerisms and how he processes new information. And the cool thing with her, with Star Witness, so she was fourth at Pan Am. She did her first Grand Prix dressage. The more you throw at her, the better she is. If you go totally idle and kind of hands off, then she's going to find something exciting around the outside or wherever it might be. And she instantly is like total ADD child. But if you throw it at her, like kind of drinking from a fire hose, like that horse picked it up quicker than any that I've ever worked with in the past. He does a bit the same. And I think there is an element of feel for sure. You've got to understand kind of where they're coming from and, it's time and experience. But what I would generally do on the ground would just start off with leading, and I really stress voice commands early. So be it walk, halt, you got to have breaks, right? So sort of ho, whoa, whatever it might be. And then from there, introduce lunging and reliably get walk, trot, canter, halts by voice alone. And once I know I've got that, then I'm pretty confident to hop on, because then the association can be made. So when you're on them, again, the voice commands remain the same. Obviously, there's new stimulus. Obviously, you're on top, and you can start to really quietly use your leg or hand, whatever it might be. But hopefully, then the voice command is sort of the stepping stone that sort of allows them to progress quickly.
What do you find like to be the most challenging part of this sort of fundamental work with baby horses?
I would say the very first time, and usually it's after you've walk, trot, canter in whatever safe space you have, so arena or round pen or, wherever it might be. The first time you're kind of out and that they spook at something and you're still on top after the spook, then I think you're good. Because that always can be the most treacherous. Is they're still pretty green. They don't 100% understand the aids. And then, I don't know, a bunny might pop up and they leap up in the air. And you kind of have two sort of results from there. It's either you're totally going to eat dirt and they're running away and then they're scared and you got to kind of go back a few steps, or somehow you're able to manage and survive and get past that, then you're in really good shape, because then you can handle whatever it's going to be, and then you're off and running.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I'm taking a step back here before the saddling, but do you do a lot of ground driving, or do you start them that way with like getting the feel of, the steering and things?
I typically don't. So I would be pretty quick to introduce side reins. So we don't, just equipment wise, what we have, our arena is not fenced. It's just the threshold between the sand and the grass is, you can ride in and out all the time. And we don't have a round pen either. So I have no confines. I would introduce side reins pretty early and obviously quite loose, but it would give a bit of direction and stability to it. And I think the other really important thing early on is if they can learn, and again, make sure the side reins are loose. So if their head is, 20 degrees above vertical, I mean, they have a lot of freedom in it, but if they go to totally hit the pressure, as long as they know that the release from pressure is to soften, then I think you're in great shape. But if they don't understand that relationship, then I think your ability to be on top is really limited, or you're just taking chances that you don't need to take. So again, not tight at all, but I do think having some boundaries in that way is incredibly helpful.
Awesome. Interesting. I feel like I learned a lot.
Well, thanks, honey, for coming on.
Yeah, for sure. And if anybody does have interest in it, we're continuing to post videos along his whole progression, and join in for sure.
Oh yeah, I'm going to be watching him for sure, because I've always loved Star Witness, so I'm excited to see her baby.
This baby's so smart. Like he's going to be crazy. Such a cool horse.
I mean,
I drug him around the other day.
One thing, and he's like instantly has it.
Well, that's it. The other day I was dragging him around. Doug was going to ride him next, and we were doing too many things at once, and he was teaching a lesson, and the jumps needed to be switched. And so I drug him around, and the first time I moved the metal jump cup, he kind of looked at me, drug him around the rest of the time. And we were really good. Like, we do drag our babies around like that normally. But like by the end, Doug's like, normally they like kind of spook when the first horse jumps. He didn't care at all. He's like, I'm fine. It was crazy.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually a really good important point there too, is with the little babies, as soon as you're kind of survive it, we'll try to teach off them or drag them around, like Jeff said, adjusting jumps or whatever it might be, like basically treat them like dogs, but have them out in the sort of chaotic environment as best you can early. And we did build in our arena, we've got flags, we've got music playing, we've got every stimulus you can throw at them pretty early on. But I think in that way, the more they're out there to see horses doing big horse things, I think it's very, very helpful for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for coming on, Doug. This was fun.
Yeah, no worries. Look forward to the next time.
Shop with your friends without leaving the couch. Heels Down is organizing a very merry virtual trunk show to showcase our top gift picks this year for the holiday season. So all the products we just talked about on this episode will be showcased at our Heels Down Holiday Trunk Show, which is happening November 26th, which is a Tuesday, at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to join us, it's totally free, and you'll have a chance to preview some of the latest new riding and horse care products out there, ask questions directly to the managers of these companies, and reap the benefits of exclusive deals. All of our brand partners for a holiday gift guide will give you your undivided attention, and we'll be happy to answer any questions you have. Plus, we're going to have door prizes and coupon codes that you'll only get if you sign up to attend our virtual trunk show. And best of all, definitely bring a cocktail. I mean, this is Heels Down Happy Hour, so we will be sipping while we're shopping. So how does it work? You're going to sign up for our Zoom. We're asking everybody to pre-register, and then you'll hop on Zoom with us on Tuesday, November 26th, and we'll go through all these products. You'll see them up close and personal on video, and you can answer or ask any questions that you want. And maybe Doug will show up. We don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
But the three of us will be there. We're happy to play around a Rose and Thorn with everybody. So head to heelsdownmag.com and you'll find all the details there where you can pre-register for this event. All right, guys, it's time for Rose and Thorn. Jess, you want to go first?
Yeah, since mine already got spoiled. But
the puzzle. The puzzle.
Yeah, a puzzle. So I turned 40 a couple weeks ago and had so much fun. We had a great birthday time. So I'm going on a birthday trip, which will probably be my next Rose. So I'll save that for another time. But I'm going on a birthday trip with a bunch of friends. And Doug, that's like my big present. So Doug just wanted to get me something small. And I am obsessed with puzzles, like you heard. And so he gave me one with no key. And my thorn is that I probably spent the last 30 to 40 hours of the week doing this puzzle. It was the craziest thing.
Oh my gosh. I feel like I would have lost all my patience and would have been like, I would have thrown it away, I think.
I'm just glad that there was an end in sight though, because we had bought the glue, we had bought the frame. So I knew, it took me probably all of those first 6 hours just to do the border because you didn't know what the border was.
Yeah. Oh, that's tough.
So I didn't even know if the top or bottom was, and it's all green, but I couldn't tell you if the top was the dark green or the bottom was light green. And Doug's like, do you want a hint? I was like, no, I'm going to try to do this whole thing without hints. And then I started to put the faces together. That was the only contrast. So I put the faces together. So at one point I was like separating the pieces by shape, not color, because there was no difference.
I see. Interesting.
But it was fun. I got it done. So the fact that it was way too long, that was my thorn for sure. But it was also my rose because I now have a beautiful picture that I spent 40 hours doing.
Yeah, you'll have to take a picture and share it for us.
Oh, I will. It will be on my social. I've already took pictures. The kids and I glued it, and I'm going to frame it tomorrow once the glue dries.
Nice. What about you, Ellie?
So my thorn is that apparently my I've talked about this horse before. He's my oldest resident. He just turned 30. Yes, he's a boarder, and he's a little Appaloosa, and he usually is a pretty chill guy. And I don't really know what happened or why this heat cycle for the mare is different for him, but he is acting so stunny. It is
Oh my gosh.
unreal.
No.
Like, I had to return on the fences because he was all, up and ready to go, shall we speak, and like running around with his head up in the air, pawing at the fence, like was just like lathering himself going up and down the fence. And of course, she's a hussy. And she is so happy that someone actually cares, because none of my other geldings give a crap at all. Q is the youngest. He's 8 and he's out with her and he could care less, But this 30-year-old man, so I had to literally stop rotating my horses and keep him far away from her pasture because she's literally losing her noodle. Or excuse me, he's literally losing her noodle.
Oh my gosh.
And it was so wild, but definitely my thorn to have to deal with his senile studiness, shall we say.
Jeez.
Yeah. But my rose is just that the weather has been so good that it's been great to have the horses out like 24/7. And just, it's been great for me from not having to work as hard. I bring them in to feed them and pick their feet, and then they go back outside. But it's also just really nice because, it's sunny, but it's also cool enough that it definitely is more picturesque in terms of, having a backyard barn. I can actually look out and see the horses enjoying their time outside, not being annoyed by bugs or anything like that. So yeah, it's just been a nice, like, end of the year positive to just be able to enjoy my horses as the lawn ornaments they are as we go into winter season. But in the spring, we'll try to revoke their lawn ornament status.
I know. I'm happy for you. Enjoy it while this nice weather lasts,
Exactly. What about you, Justine?
Ugh. All right, so I will start with my thorn. So I took Mikey over the weekend to one of our favorite natural horsemanship parks where they have all the fun competitive trail obstacles. That's really become like a important piece of my rehab. Mikey's been many times now over the years as we've rehabbed, but it's like a nice low-key outing where he has to get in the trailer and go off property, but there's not a lot of stress for him to physically perform like at a horse show, and generally it's pretty quiet when we're there, but it's a great place to go that I work him on the ground and also under tack there, but he can approach an obstacle and have a lot of time to think about things and just think about his body and his posture. I've just found a lot of benefits to it, especially for a horse that is rehabbing an injury. So
yeah, it makes him use his brain, right?
Exactly. Yep. And he's really got to think about where his feet are and his body, but a lot of if there's any stress, it's mental stress for sure. So I like it a lot. But now that we are cleared to do a little bit more work, we're cleared to trot, we're trotting soundly. It felt like a good time to take him out and just start trying to tame his feralness. So we went and he was pretty worked up about it, but did a good job. But my thorn is I took a new friend from my new barn with me. She was so excited. She'd never been to one of these. And she has a fun draft cross, like fox hunter, a hunter pacer type horse, who was a very like low key chill buddy for Mikey to have. It was nice to bring a horse like that with me. And she was great. She's not my thorn. My thorn is I hauled us in my 2-horse trailer in my truck and everything was fine. We got there just fine. It's, I don't know, maybe an hour and a half to get there from my barn. We left just fine. Everybody loaded up fine. I needed gas on the way home. We stopped at a 7-Eleven, probably about an hour from our barn. I put gas in the truck. I stopped and used the restroom. I bought a Diet Coke. I go to turn the truck back on and it's dead. It will not turn over.
Oh, no.
And it's, oh crap, So we wait a minute. We try to figure out what's going on. There was a revolving door of gentlemen that wanted to come and help two ladies with a broken truck all afternoon. Jumping it didn't work. It clearly wasn't my battery. And ended up being my starter. So, which, that's like something that requires some like legitimate amount of like mechanic help, right? to
Yeah.
fix.
Yeah, that's not like an easy fill up the flat tire situation.
Yeah. So I was like, crap, this sucks. So we started calling in, reinforcements. My dad has a couple of trucks. So I was like, can you get on the road in case I need like you to haul the trailer home if we have to tow my truck? So he's driving up. My friend who was with me had a mechanic friend, and she was, let me just call and see what he says. And so he talked to us on the phone for a while, and then she is amazing and somehow sweet talked him into driving all the way out there. And this man, like, it was unbelievable. He came, he diagnosed it as my starter right away. He was able to use a commercial jack, never unhook my horse trailer, raise the truck up, and replace, like, he went and bought another starter and replaced my starter in the middle of the 7-Eleven. And the horses sat in the trailer for an extra 2 hours. But it was amazing. I know. And he was like the nicest guy, did it for ultra cheap. It was crazy because I was thinking we were going to have to take the horses home with a different vehicle. But knock on wood, it all worked out. They got home. My truck works. So thank goodness. So that was my thorn, though. It's never fun when you have truck or trailer trouble when you've got horses on the road. It's like a pain in the butt. But luckily the horses were great, like they were very easy in the trailer just hanging out. I had remembered to fill my water tank, which was good, so they had plenty of hay and water while we just hung out. And luckily it wasn't extremely hot. So that is my thorn. My rose is kind of not really a rose, but it's funny. So as you know, I've explained Alex, my husband, broke his foot trying to do hurricane tree debris removal. He's healing really well. He's luckily not in a lot of pain and is doing pretty well. But, he's like on crutches and in a boot and uses the knee scooter thing. Like he's got to be non-weight bearing on his foot for a while it heals. And so now it's funny. He's using all of my Mikey therapy products. Like he's using all my Draper stuff. He's wearing Draper lounge pants. He's wrapping his foot in the Draper wrap, like I said earlier, at night. He's using my red light pad. He's using Mikey's ice boots sometimes. Like he's literally using my fleet of Michael therapies.
And you're like, see, funny. I needed everything.
Exactly. Right. So I guess my rose is that I'm ultra prepared. But yeah.
I think your rose should also be that you have proven that you needed to splurge on what
all these
splurged.
Things, right? Yeah.
You have
funny.
You checkmate.
That's what I told him. I was like, you're sharing with Mikey and all of his things.
Exactly. See?
All right, Ellie. So we got a interesting mailbag that I wanted to talk to you about, just because I think it depends on who you are and the type of horses you're looking for. But Rebecca asked in our Facebook group, what are your go-to places to market horses for sale? She specifically was having a hard time finding horses that aren't your typical fancy show prospects. Obviously, there are specific Facebook groups and websites for high performance horses for sale. But what about like your older trail horse or like maybe an older late teens horse that would be a good lesson horse or for a young kid? How do you find those types of places? Because like, it used to be Craigslist, there used to be Dream Horse, there used to be, a variety of other sites, but they all have kind of gone to the wayside now that we rely on Facebook, it feels like, so much to find horses for sale.
Yeah. I mean, I think Facebook is definitely where I've been seeing them a lot, the different like types of horse groups, because there's even just, trail horses for sale or, different areas. That's where I see a lot of the non-fancy show prospects, right? Like for me, it would be like upstate Pennsylvania horses for sale or, Southern New York horses for sale. Like those types, you can usually get a good mix. You'll get some that are, crazy high price range, but then you'll also get the ones that are like more geared towards, I just want a horse to putt around with, I think the other thing is, which is kind of weird because in such a, social media environment and just, I'm forgetting the word for, I guess, just our community, it's almost gone back to basics where you're better off finding, talking to people and saying, oh, well, my friend of a friend has this horse that's older that, if she's looking to find a new home for. I feel like that's where a lot of my clients are getting, older horses that people can't afford anymore with how crazy expensive everything is. But that, and also just, staying connected with the village of horse people around you.
Yeah,
for when
sure.
those horses can't be the fancy show prospects anymore. What about you, Justine? I feel like you always know where to find good off the track thoroughbreds and stuff.
Yeah, I think your advice is good. I do think having the network really helps. I feel like I've gotten lucky because all the horses I've ever bought have come through somebody I trusted, like a friend of a friend going, hey, I've got this one. Hey, I think you'd like this one, or, come check this one out. And that goes a long way for me personally, just because if it's somebody I trust and know, and someone who knows me well, that just goes a long way in my book. I hate Facebook for horse sales. It drives me crazy, especially for like the off-track market. Like those off-track groups are just like full of a million posts with a bajillion comments, and no one responds to your personal messages, or if they do, they like drop off the face of the earth after demanding answers to a million questions. I really think that Facebook and Messenger, like relying for them as like a reputable way to sell horses, is just not feasible for the long run. Like at least on dreamhorse.com or sites like that, like you would, like people had to be invested to reach out to you to want to know more. You know what I mean? And usually someone would be happy to hop on a phone call after a short back and forth conversation. I don't know why that seems so difficult to do these days, but I think, having your local network or people who are resellers and that do a good job and have a good reputation, I think that's important too. Like there are people who do a really good job and keep track of where their horses go and care about them and are honest in the way that they list who they are and what they're capable of. I think that helps. And even if those resellers are selling horses that don't fit what you're looking for, they would be one of the first people I'd reach out and go, hey, this is what I'm looking for. Can you think of anybody, or do you know anything out there that you might have seen? Because they might have good leads.
Exactly.
So relying on people, I think, goes a long way if you're like me and tired of the Facebook game.
Well, that, and also, right, horses that aren't associated with a hefty price tag, people aren't going to try to market as much.
Right.
So the only way to really get them, right? Nobody's going to list them on Big Eck because it's a waste of their money, right? So it's important to like we said, just basically play a game of telephone and see where you can kind of go with just human interaction.
Yep, I agree. I think that's your best course of action for now. So if you have a question for us and you want us to answer it on the air, you can always send us an email. You can do that by going to justine@heelsdownmedia.com, or you could always post a question in our Facebook group like Rebecca did. She started this discussion in the Heels Down Happy Hour podcast lounge. We always have really cool and fun discussions there. So join us if you haven't. And if you want to hear more from us, you should check out heelsdownmag.com for the latest news. And you can follow us on social media. We're at Heels Down Happy Hour on Instagram and at Heels Down Mag on Facebook and TikTok. If you love our show, please give us a rate and review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. And we want to say thank you to all of our sponsors this week, Eco Gold, and all of our gift guide partners, All Things Equestrian, Belted Out Goods, Purina, Sinutra Equine, Draper Therapies, and Pensnickety. All right, that's a wrap.
Cheers.
Cheers.